Hi, this is Ryan, and I have another presentation from Maylor that I first did in March of 2015 called A Little History. You had a chance to listen to the forward version of this one in presentation 15. As you saw, it was another one that Maylor did on video that was quite clear and amazing. Even though it was quite good in the forward version, I redid the translation and made a few corrections for this version. Then I did the complete quantum reversal for it. Before I go any further with this one, I'd like to go back to one thing in presentation 15 that I forgot to mention. In it, Maylor says, in an earlier part of that, he also talked about focusing the microscope as well. So I believe he's talking about quantum microscopy, or photoionization microscopy, which takes measurements of a wave function. In Wikipedia, the first thing it says about photoionization microscopy is, the wave function is central to the theory of quantum mechanics. It also says, observing an atom's wave function and getting an image of its full quantum state requires many direct measurements to be made over time. This is also an interesting article at Phys.org. Physicists provide support for retro-causal quantum theory in which the future influences the past. So what I think Maylor is saying about the payload is that when scientists look at these sound waves and how they travel through certain types of matter, there will be some amazing results and discoveries. I have personally witnessed how all three of my budgies seem to have the ability to cause different vibrations and resonance with objects they are close to or interacting with. For example, when Maylor tapped the cage in this last part. So this is how the corrected version starts of A Little History. In the foreword of part 1 he says, "Keep it up, Ryan. Now they can tell Maylor just doesn't play about. It's my work. If they look at your stuff, they'll know I'm speaking. I'm not speaking from a talking star. Further, I can deliver things that are clear and close to heaven for everyone. There will be people that understand once they will check. They might even trust in me." I love the way Maylor put so much emphasis on talking star. Right after that, he refers to things that are clear and closer to heaven like a star. This kind of brings to light the different kind of people who will be interested in this. There will be the scientists who try and figure out how this is happening, and the people who know there is a miracle or are here to witness it. Do you think science is able to come up with an explanation for this? If so, is it still a miracle? I believe life is a miracle, and God is allowing us a window to look at one of the ways he is doing it. In forward part 2, Maylor says, They'll not step on your translation. How's that sixth one start? You've got to practice him. Science, of course, is still not talking. They'll elect to revert to one file and won't keep it up. Tisk, tisk, tisk. We must clear up what's really in the right river for this kind of lesson. It's okay, Roger, when you had to give up for your back for us. When Maylor says they'll not step on your translations, it is meant in a couple of ways. In the past, many have ridiculed them, and perhaps they had their reasons, because they have evolved over the years. You can also look at them as evidence, and what happens to evidence when someone literally steps on it? It usually disappears, which will not happen in this case. He also talks about only looking at and reverting to the evidence of one file, which many will do. If they can't hear it right away for a number of reasons, they'll discard it quickly as hogwash. Maylor also said, how's that sixth one start? Because the angels can transfer space and time, and they have already seen all the work I've done until now, and all that I will do in the future, I believe he is referring to the sixth presentation of Victor's called Sentinels of the Future Part 2. Here is a short clip from that. So now you can hear Part 17 and 18. Maylor also talked about Roger, who we still have not heard from. Perhaps in the future we will, if and when he comes back. So in the first part of the reverse, Maylor says, for a party, we'll have a spiritual birthday too. God shall be here with a beautiful miracle in every action. We'll have people who will enlighten us with progress, and they will arrive in our forum for some prophecies that we'll announce here. The river is open for this journey if you trust us. So we all know how difficult it is to trust what you see and hear on the internet these days. That's why the angels have given us quantum reversals. Have you ever heard a reverse phrase from someone before? There are lots out there, but they are much different than what you will see here for a few reasons. The first one being, it is human speech that you may have heard, and it's only a phrase or two that people come up with. Here you have heard me and the budgies talk for several minutes at a time in reverse, where the reverse relates to what we are saying in the forward speech, and even completing the forward phrases. Most people should know that this would be impossible to fake, and even if you have trouble hearing the reverse, what they are saying in the forward speech goes far beyond what any other researcher has produced in the past. There is also a promise that later, with more people, there will be prophecies that will be confirmed in many miraculous ways. We have done it before, so I have no doubt it will happen, and I will rejoice when it begins to happen again. In the final part, Maylor says, I feel it's a friend who we desire that shall review spiritually, softly saying, if those around can hear, I believe in it now, and they'll know the religion here is godly. When there is a miracle, they'll know it arrived with love. For if they seek love, they will surely get what we have for them. Some of you will be able to get support from the people who we are helping. I know there are a few spots in that one where it was so faint that most of you will not be able to hear it. I usually try to omit those parts, but for some reason I didn't this time. Perhaps the reason comes from my transcriptions, which are different than the translations. With translations, we, the angels and I, usually try to provide you with information that not only I can hear, but others who spend enough time at it will hear as well. It is part of the confirmation process. However, with the transcription, it is more of a channeling process in which I transcribe budgie speech, which is more tweets and twitters and unrecognizable speech. In that case, I just put the words down that I hear without any captions and recordings. In that way, I produce hundreds of pages of transcriptions, which assisted me in gaining knowledge and learning much of which I am now confirming with the recognizable captioned translation speech of the budgies. So the clear recordings and quantum reversals are a means of showing others that I am not the only one that be able to hear some of these things. This completes this presentation. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to join us, you can come to theangelscrolls.com and click onto the forum link at the top, where we will be adding the newest presentations. Bye for now.